Tonight's episode, Negan and Rick have a nice little outing together. We get to see these boys bash heads once again. Simon is up to something sneaky and he's trying to enlist Dwight's help. Will Dwight answer the call, or will he also give him the cold shoulder? And Hilltop has a surprise guest that nobody saw coming. All that and more here on Nephilim Entertainment. What is up, fans? What is up? I'm your host, Metron. Welcome back to Nephilim Entertainment. Tonight's episode is about The Walking Dead, and this is episode 12, The Key. Dwight and Negan have a nice little talk, but apparently Negan isn't picking up or maybe hinting around the fact that he knows that Dwight's a two-faced snake, at least by Negan standards. But he doesn't let on like he knows anything, so Dwight may be in the clear for right now, which poses the question, where's the girl that was there when Dwight led his nice little revenge / betrayal of the Saviors? Is she gone missing, or is Negan have something up his sleeve? Which right now I don't think he has up his sleeve is guts, because the first episode is all about them loading down their weapons and covering their weapons in walker guts. Because Negan has this bright idea to do biological warfare, which is a big hint towards the comics. We might end up seeing some people getting some fevers and possibly even dying and joining the walkers just by a simple scratch or hit with these weapons. But the thing that really, I think, sort of captivated the moment was when Negan had his girl Lucille sitting in a bucket of walker guts, and his only words he could say to her was, "You are beautiful." His obsession with a bat is a little creepy, but hey, it's alright. I mean, as long as you have someone close to hold to you during an apocalypse. Meanwhile, Simon and Dwight are having a bonding moment. Apparently, Simon wants Dwight at his side. Why? I don't know, but he's very insistent in even invoking Negan's name to try to get Dwight to join him in a nice little tag-along. So, this is going to be very interesting to see this development. Rick and Daryl finally have a talk. Much needed one, by the way. After the events of what happened during the war with the Saviors, Daryl explains his rationality for wanting to use the explosives and trying to kill the Saviors, no matter if innocent people are involved or not. So, Rick basically says he understands Daryl's reasons and he's fine. He's totally okay, right? Rick's okay, right? Yeah, I don't. Look, we've been watching this series since the beginning. I may not have covered it on my channel, but I'm here to tell you, I've seen everything Rick has been through. And the most famed moment I can think back to was when Rick took a chunk, literally, out of the Claimer's neck. Do y'all remember that? I do. Basically took a huge chunk out of it with his bare teeth to save Carl and Daryl. Daryl knows this. So I'm just wondering if he picks up on the fact that after losing his son, spoiler alert, if he is actually okay. I mean, do you really trust the fact that Rick's okay? Yeah, I doubt that. But we're going to let it slide for this time. Meanwhile, we're going back to Simon and Dwight's little venture. Apparently, they're now talking, and Simon's bringing up the possibility of, are you okay with this plan? I mean, do you feel comfortable with it? Because if it was my plan, I might go things a tad bit different. Mr. I follow Negan's word of law, sir. But now he's starting to talk about possible mutiny and anarchy. And I think Dwight is in that zone right now where he's sniffing that something ain't right. Now, if he was an extremely loyal Negan savior person, he would totally shoot this down. But even he's got to think and stop and think, and maybe even use this to his advantage. Simon planning a coup would work great into his plans, especially if he's trying to take down the Saviors from within. Back on Hilltop, some items are left for our survivors. Apparently, a note left that, requesting records in exchange for food and possible knowledge. So, who are these people and why are they leaving souvenirs? It's a little, hey, look, we had the same thing happen a couple seasons back with Aaron leaving the water for our people when they were wandering around, basically lost in the wilderness. He was recruiting them for Alexandria. Now we're having the same thing left, but instead of them leaving it for random survivors in the middle of nowhere wandering around, left it for a settlement. So, what is that I was saying about Greeks leaving gifts? Can we really trust this? I don't, but I'm very suspicious, especially in this world. Meanwhile, we got Fast and Furious going on. Apparently, Rick is now chasing Negan down in his vehicle and successfully takes him out. So with that, we have the appearance of Negan's whip, but it only lasts one episode? So yeah, them playing Fast and Furious. Simon, for some reason, is kind of glee about it. He even sees Rick's vehicle coming, literally blocks away, but does not say anything. So I guess in a way, he's hoping that Rick and Negan will kill each other. That's my theory. But of course, Negan survives. He's like a damn cat, so Negan's not going to be so easy to kill. Meanwhile, the Saviors find out who is this, or not the Saviors, my bad. The Hilltop people are finding out that the woman in charge of this little venture of leaving goods in exchange for knowledge is a woman by the name of Georgie. Dressed in all white with 2 bodyguards, she's hoping to exchange knowledge for items and whatnot. So, yeah, it poses an interesting question. Why are you wanting knowledge and why are you willing to share it? What's in it for you other than the goodwill of man? I'm not buying it. Most people are trusting her online. I'm not. Anybody who's willing to offer stuff, yeah, they may be in the kindness of their heart, but at the same time, it leaves a lot of suspicion. Especially when we had to deal with the governor and Terminus and now the Saviors and now Georgie all of a sudden poses a question. What's in it for her? So meanwhile, Rick and Negan are having their little scuffle. They're going back and forth. In the scuffle, Negan learns the truth about Simon and Janice. Apparently, against Negan's wishes, he finds out Simon took out the scavengers and completely wiped them off the face of the earth. Much to Negan's dismay, and he looked pissed about said notion. And while Negan and Rick are fighting, basically Simon is putting his plan into action about taking over. He is willing to abandon Negan and lead the Saviors. But I have to say, he does it in a very splendid way. He doesn't say, okay, let's forget Negan, let's focus on Simon. He uses Negan's name to invoke the Saviors. So, in a way, Negan becomes sort of his mantra, in a way to lead the troops. It's very tactful. I applaud it because he's using the available resources and bending them to his way. It's no longer about him. He's using it to manipulate the people. It's very dark, but it's very clever. So I have to applaud Simon for that. Meanwhile, Maggie brings Georgie back to the camp, and in exchange for goods, she's willing to offer more food on the table simply because she feels like they need it more than she does. Who are you? Where's your camp? All in exchange for what? Records? I just don't trust this notion. I don't. But she does offer something she calls a book for your future, which basically has the floor plans for windmills, basically all the little goodies of stuff that people did back in the day before technology, with like woodworking, blacksmithing, making windmills, making stuff that basically you can do without the necessary equipment and resources that you would find in a modern age. Basically to help the people survive more. So she does come bearing pretty sweet gifts, and I would love to take a look in that book to see what they have to offer. But I love how Rick uses Lucille against Negan. That was probably the best moment, especially when he lit Lucille on fire. And Negan has got some big obsession with the whole Lucille thing. It's a little unhealthy, man. You really need to let go. Almost as much as Enid needs to let go, because our girl Enid, after the whole thing with Carl, she's really now starting to get a little bitter. And I can see her turning a dark turn. She's sort of going down a dark trail. I mean, what can snap our girl back? Who knows? But she's starting to get a little heavy-hearted and starting to get a little dark atmospheric about her. So it's going to be interesting to see how she develops. And lastly, when all else fails and Negan makes his getaway from Rick, we don't really know what happens to Negan until later on in the last bit of the episode. He wakes up in a vehicle going down the road. I thought it was Rick. I thought Rick may have saved him and that they were going to go have a little powwow, put the guns down, put the weapons down, and have a nice little chat. No, it was none other than Janice herself, fully dressed and talking in complete sentences. Well, using words like shut up isn't really a complete sentence, but at least we see that she's taking action, and apparently she might want to take vengeance on the whole Savior encampment thing. But then again, she really gonna... she could just be taking Negan back to sculpt him. I mean, that's what she does, right? Alright, up next for The Walking Dead. If by my calculations, I do believe after tonight's episode, there's 4 episodes left. So, we hear Maggie pretty much talking the clip of next week's episode. They need one more night to survive. So we see the Saviors actually approaching Hilltop to where they're making their last stand. So is this going to be where rubber meets the road? Is this where our people are going to finally take their last stand and maybe hopefully snuff out the Saviors? Or are we going to stretch this out as much as possible? But it's interesting to see, too, Simon having a talk with Maggie. And seeing their back and forth banter, especially after the last time they talked. Simon left a coffin with Maggie, and Maggie returned it with a body inside. So it's going to be interesting to see their little back and forth debating and banter. But that's going to do it for me. Be sure to leave me a thumbs up down below and post a comment being friendly, and let's discuss this episode. Be sure to stay tuned to the end of the video and subscribe for more content. But my question for y'all is, what do you think about Dwight and Simon teaming up to, in a way, overthrow Negan? Do you think it's a ploy that Dwight is trying to use this to his advantage to overthrow the Saviors completely? Or do you think maybe he's hoping that Simon might be a better leader than Negan? Let me know up here. But that's going to be a wrap for me. I'm Metatron Rell, and you watching Nephilim Entertainment. To all you daydreamers and creators out there, keep your heads in the clouds. Peace.